The wind moved gently across the sleeping desert, whispering over the endless dunes like a ghost of time. The sands shimmered faintly under a silver moon, waiting for the sun that had not yet risen. At that age, Arabia was a land of blood and vengeance, of endless tribal wars and forgotten mercy. Each tribe lived for its name, each sword for its pride. The cries of the slain echoed between the mountains, and the earth drank deeply from the wounds of man. It was a world drowning in shadows. But even in the darkest desert, a whisper of light was stirring, soft, unseen, unstoppable. Among the warriors of the desert, a boy stood at the edge of manhood. His name was Tariq ibn Saeed, barely 17. His eyes were too young for the horrors they had seen, yet too old for the innocence of peace. He stood among the fallen, sword trembling in his hand, blood staining his face, as dawn's first light bled across the dunes. His tribe cheered behind him. His father, the proud chieftain, Saeed ibn Malik, clapped his back and laughed. "You killed your first man today, my son," he said, his voice like thunder. "The desert accepts you as one of its own." Tariq did not answer. He looked at the body before him, a man barely older than himself, his face calm in death. The wind lifted sand over the corpse, covering him slowly, as though the desert itself wished to hide the shame of men. "He was only defending himself," Tariq murmured. "Defending?" His father's laugh turned harsh. "Mercy is weakness, boy. Remember this only. The strong survive." Tariq looked at the fire burning in the distance, at the plundered tents and the wailing women. The warmth of victory felt cold in his chest. He nodded, but the words of his father sank into him like stones in water, heavy, silent, and sinking out of sight. That night, as others celebrated, Tariq sat alone on a dune, his sword beside him. The sky above was wide and infinite, filled with stars. He could almost hear the desert breathe. And in that quiet, a strange thought came to him, a question that had no voice. Was there no meaning beyond killing, no truth beyond the sword? The next morning, he and his friend Zayd rode to the markets of Makkah. The city was alive with trade camels bellowed, merchants shouted, gold clinked against scales. And yet, in a small corner of the square, a man stood on a stone, speaking in a voice that silenced the noise around him. "O people," the man said calmly, "there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his messenger." The words struck the air like thunder. People gasped, others mocked, but some listened in awe. Zayd leaned closer. "They say he calls for one God, that idols are false, men are equal before their creator." Tariq frowned. "Equal? Even slaves and lords?" "That's what they say." Tariq watched the man's face. He had never seen such calm and defiance, such peace and danger. The preacher's words did not burn with hatred. They glowed with truth. Tariq felt something inside him move, something he couldn't name. Days turned to nights, and nights turned into restless dreams. Tariq began to visit secretly, standing far behind the crowds to hear the message. He saw men and women of every kind gathered together, slaves, merchants, warriors, all sitting side by side, bound not by blood, but by faith. One night, in the shadows of a small house lit by a single lantern, he found himself among them. A follower of the new faith spoke softly to those gathered. "The prophet teaches that the strong protect the weak," the man said. "That justice is the highest courage, and patience the greatest victory." Tariq's voice trembled. "And what if they come to kill us?" The man smiled. "And we fight not for land or pride, but for truth. And a man who dies for truth never dies in vain." Something broke open inside Tariq's chest. All the noise of his tribe, the endless drums of war, the pride and blood, they suddenly felt small. But truth comes with a price. When his father discovered his faith, the tribe gathered beneath the burning sun. Tariq stood before them, unarmed. His father's face was red with fury. "Have you betrayed your blood for this man's words?" Saeed thundered. "You kneel beside slaves and shepherds? Shame on you, boy." Tariq looked into his father's eyes that had once taught him courage. "I kneel only before the one who created us all." The crowd gasped. The chief raised his hand. "You are no son of this tribe. Leave before your blood stains the sand." Tariq looked once more at his father, then turned away. The desert wind roared behind him as he walked into exile,